Zech to you, my Polish friends, and how you guys doing? Welcome to the channel. If it's your first time here, you're welcome. And to you, my beautiful and amazing returning subscribers, welcome to the channel. And today I'm checking out a super quick history of Poland. You know I love Poland, and I love to know more and more about Poland because it's a place that I would like to visit. You know, so I want to be abreast with all the information that I need. You know, so guys, let's check this out.
Cześć everyone, and welcome to This is Europe, and here's Poland. Now let's polish up on its history, shall we? The beautiful land of Poland begins its story with a long cryptic prologue, centuries that are cloaked in conjecture and mystery. Things clear up a bit better as we enter the Bronze Age Lusatian culture. Farmers, hunters, herders, and highly skilled artisans. This here is a reconstructed fort from the 700s BC. A century after this, the Pomeranian culture popped up. It was similar to the Lusatians in many respects, though they had a curious habit of making faces for their urns. I mean, sure, why would you want a plain old urn when you could have one with a nose or ears on it? The next culture had some regrettably noseless pottery and declined around the same time Rome did. More mystery, more shadow. Then, around the 6th century, we find that a Slavic tribe known as the Polans had made the land their home. Over the years, the Polans grew stronger by incorporating other tribes into their fold. But the true birth of a recognizably Polish state occurred in the 900s with the rise of Mieszko I. He accepted Christianity, which would become the land's dominant faith, and set forth and conquered a large slice of land, which he left to his son Bolesław the Brave, who was crowned first king of Poland and further strengthened and expanded his domains. Naturally, troubles beset the region, and Bolesław III fought hard to regain lost lands. At his death, he divided Poland between his sons, hoping this would prevent their fighting for the throne. If only he'd seen a few of my videos, then he'd know that was never going to happen. That's right, the brothers immediately battled each other for more power, and Poland was disjointed for almost 200 years. During this fractured period, Duke Konrad here invited the German Teutonic Knights to help him deal with the Baltic Prussians up north. The Knights not only subdued the Prussians, but decided to stay and make their own state in the region. More on that later. Now, if the Polish lands were weakened by disunity, they were enfeebled further thanks to the Mongol invasion of 1240. After this, the Mongols invaded again, and slaughtered and enslaved, and then they invaded once more, but this time they weren't so fortunate in their objectives, as the Poles defeated them. Strenuous effort and sprinklings of luck saw Władysław the Short successfully begin the process of reunifying Poland. His son, Kazimierz the Great, was a builder and a reformer who expanded eastward in his conquests, championed education, and welcomed the settlement of Jews into his borders. Under Queen Jadwiga, Poland entered into a personal union with the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. After this new system update, the Teutonic Knights, long a dual thorn in the sides of Poland and Lithuania, became less of a threat. Naturally, conflict brewed between the rival states, and it escalated in 1410 into one of the biggest battles of the medieval era. The Battle of Grunwald saw the Polish and Lithuanians crush the Teutonic Knights, whose power and prestige was decisively diminished. Teutonic rule in Prussia became more and more resented, and this internal strife sparked the 13 Years' War, in which Poland was again triumphant. Meanwhile, Poland developed a political system that was, for its time, notably liberal and tolerant, and the 1500s saw the country enter a golden age of culture and scientific innovation. In 1569, Poland and Lithuania combined into a single state, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, which was one of the largest and strongest states in Europe. Now, since Russia was having a hard time back then, Poland decided to invade it, and the two countries have disliked each other ever since. There was also war with the Ottomans and war with Sweden, and of course all this belligerence sapped the Commonwealth of potency, and swathes of land were lost, from Prussian possessions to chunks of Ukraine. But this didn't stop Poland from saving the heartland of Europe in 1683 from Turkish invasion, when the great soldier king Jan Sobieski, with his great mustache, led his heavy cavalry down the Austrian hills to thrash the Ottomans in the Battle of Vienna. But this glorious victory did not halt Poland's inglorious decline. 1701 saw a ruinous Swedish invasion, and then a squabble over the throne, in which it became glaringly plain that Poland had simply become a pawn on the European chessboard for the bigger bigger players, and Poland itself was checkmated in the late 1700s when it was entirely erased from the map, partitioned between Russia, Austria, and Prussia. Not even the heroic efforts of the great commander Tadeusz Kościuszko could free Poland from foreign occupation. In 1830, Poland tried to unshackle itself again, but the Russians stamped out their hopes in just under a year. So Poland tried again, and Prussia stopped them. So Poland tried again, then Russia beat them down as before. Finally, after World War I, a conflict in which nearly 500,000 Poles had died, Poland was restored as a nation once more. Meanwhile, the communist revolutionary Lenin had taken power in Russia, and he sought to expand westward and spread socialism further in Europe. Poland resisted, and of course it was war. And after Poland's extraordinary and unexpected victory at the Battle of Warsaw, Russia's ambitions were put on hold. Now, throughout the 1920s, Poland worked to fix itself up and modernize, and impressive improvements were made despite the impact of the Great Depression. Then it was all ruined by two men who give mustaches a bad name, Mr. Hitler and Mr. Stalin. The invasion of Poland kicked off World War II, and few countries had a worse time of it. Poland was split between Nazi Germany and Soviet Russia, and the Soviets set about slaughtering Poles, and the Nazis set about slaughtering Poles, around 2 million of them, and Hitler ended up shoving the Soviets out of Poland in Operation Barbarossa. Nazi occupation devastated Poland's large Jewish population, most of whom were disposed of. But despite the omnipresent tragedy and horror, the Polish resistance never lost hope and continued to fight, even after the huge Warsaw Uprising, when the Germans pretty much destroyed the entire city in revenge, and untold thousands of civilians were executed. Now, as the German position on the Eastern Front faltered, the Soviet Red Army pushed them further and further back until the Soviets took control. After the war, Stalin made sure Poland adopted a communist government, and anti-communist resistance fighters operated into the 1950s. Thankfully, the oppressiveness subsided over time and living conditions improved, though economic migraines were habitual. Protests over food prices and more of the same ilk preceded a spirit of change for Poland embodied in Polish Cardinal Karol Wojtyła, who became Pope John Paul II in 1978. Poles demanding change found a resounding voice in Lech Wałęsa, leader of the independent trade union Solidarity. Change was demanded and change was attained, and communism collapsed, and in 1990, Wałęsa was elected president. Poland later joined NATO and the EU, and the country today possesses a very high level of human development, high quality of life, and one of the largest economies in Europe, and, impressively, has managed, in spite of its troubled history, to give so much to the world. Great composers and musicians, excellent writers, brilliant filmmakers, superb scientists, and sensational sportspersons. And their food's delicious. So that's it for Poland, and that's all from me for now. Papa!
That Poland has actually achieved. You know, they say change demanded and change achieved. Yes, I could see the country of Poland how it is right now. And dating back then when they had war, I didn't know that Poland first invaded Russia. No wonder they're not in good terms. But Poland has actually gone through wars, you know, devastating time in the history. And it's amazing to see that irrespective of where they went through, they came out of it. They are standing tall. Change demanded, change attained. Their country is so beautiful. It's amazing. The Poland spirit cannot be subdued. That's one thing I like about Poland. They're fighters. They can't be subdued. They're strong. They have this willingness, you know, to get what is needed to be done. You know. I hope you enjoyed this brief history of Poland, because I did. And I would say thank you so much for staying this with me. I'll see you again. Bye.